Good morning. How are you today? I'm walking on a trail between a railroad station on that side and the Potomac River on the other. It's the canal path, and it can be heavy with bikers and walkers and runners and occasionally vehicles of some sort. But I thought it'd be nice for a change of pace on a Saturday to sort of look at something different. And the trees are marvelous here, and sometimes the colors change sooner here than where I am, but it doesn't look that way so far. The thing on my mind is whether or not we're using the powers we have to protect the nation, to preserve and protect our democracy. I applaud Biden making a no-nonsense decision that the documents requested by the House Select Committee for the purposes of finding out what happened on January the 6th, he thinks should be produced. I believe there is no privilege, executive or otherwise, to overthrow the government, although that's the ridiculous position that Trump is in. And his lawyers are telling those witnesses called before the special committee that they should refuse. And sorry, I got bug bites on my neck. And so what we need to do is to release those documents. Now, if they do the very conservative approach, very friendly, they take a while to do it. And I think what they should do is the committee should have those documents and they should be released immediately to everyone. Let us see them. Let us make the decisions. This is 9 months after this happened. We are not children. We, the people, have a right to know it. And also, it sticks it to those enemies of our nation. It's very interesting when you consider, here's a good example. You may have seen or read Ibsen's Enemy of the People. It's a fabulous short play in which Dr. Stockman comes upon the fact that there's something wrong in the waters, and he comes upon this in anticipation of them making a spa there that was mean money to the community. And one of the key ways he's going to inform the public is that the report that he got of this spoliation or corruption or pollution is going to be published in the local paper. But everybody starts leaning on the paper, and they start leaning on him. And he who would save the community is considered and treated as the enemy of the people. I think that the remedy for him in that play, if it had gone the other way, if the report had been released, he would have at least had a fighting chance for the indignity and sufferance that he went through after the fact. And he had a character flaw, and Ibsen wondered whether it should be treated as a drama or a comedy. It was a very dark comedy, no question about that. So how does that compare to where we are today? Where we are today is these documents. They corroborate and expand our understanding of what's going on. And if those documents are helpful to Trump, so be it. But let's have them, all of it. It sounds like the railroad yard is falling apart. And this is not quite as quiet as where I normally walk. Now, where do we go after that? Well, we have people like Bannon saying, I'm not going to testify. I'm not going to cooperate. Well, what we should be doing with him is immediately take his hefty hindquarters into court and have him held in contempt, because that's what this is. In other words, use the power we have. Use it firmly and use it fast. And let there be no mistake that we mean business this time. And the Trump Department of Justice, so-called, doesn't exist anymore. But here's the question. What exactly is the nature of Garland's Department of Justice? What is he doing? Now, you're probably all familiar with Frost's poem about coming to a place where the road divided, and he took the path less traveled by. Of course he did, because he became a poet. Now, are we taking the path less traveled by? That is to say, a House Select Committee has powers that are limited as compared with a U.S. attorney or a prosecutor who could make a real difference in this case. And so what I think we should be having is we should be having a U.S. attorney. Because what is the end game on the Hill? They're going to write a report and it's going to come out, and then what? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But if we have a U.S. attorney who subpoenas people and takes them to the grand jury and preserves their testimony, and then goes forward with prosecutions of people involved with this traitorous attack on our nation, then we're somewhere. We're somewhere important. And we are restoring that part of the law that says its violation prompts a reckoning. And the reckoning is not happening. And everybody in America, however much or little they know about the law, they do know since the time they're at least 3 years of old what's fair or unfair, and this is unfair. If no man is above the law, no man is above the law. And that includes this gang who would overthrow our democracy and replace it with a guy who was beaten like a drum in the last election. So how do we go forward? We should be writing and demanding of Garland that he appoint a U.S. attorney or assign him to this case and investigate others than the rioters. We know about the rioters. Let's look at these documents and let's look at what's happening in the White House. Let's look at what happened on the Hill. Let's look at what happened in our Defense Department. Let's look at who withheld what intelligence. That's a real investigation. We're 9 months down the road and we haven't done any of these things. The purpose of the law in this case is to preserve and protect the nation. Everybody involved has taken an oath at some time or other to do that. That oath has been broken. But also, the substantive criminal law and the Constitution have been violated, and there has to be a reckoning for that. So that's my reaction today on Saturday. I'm curious to see what happens on the Talking Heads on Sunday, and I'm sure John McLaughlin and I will be going over it. So until then, talk to you. Bye-bye.